Hey there, hello and welcome. It is Madeline here, and today we are talking about not taking things personally or not caring, not worrying about what other people think about you. As I posted earlier in the week, what other people think about you is none of your business, right? And I want to talk about this today because this has been coming up a lot for me and with my clients and with friends and family, and it's really a sticking point. It can really cause a lot of grief in your life, right? In your being, in your presence. So what do other people think about you? This is really ego's game, right? Because when we start comparing ourselves to others and worried about what other people think, now we are in ego, and nothing good can come from, well, very little good can come from ego, because ego always has us in fear and is not really trying to doesn't really want us to move out into the unknown, new and creative possibilities, have new experiences. Ego wants to be caught up in the known, wants us stuck in the past and what it already knows. But that's not what I want to talk about today, right? So worrying about what other people think about, okay? So, and a lot of people say, right, when I bring this up, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't care what other people think about me. Yes, you do. And usually I find that the people who say that, who are very quick to offer that bit of information about themselves, are the people who care the most about what other people think about them. So, and let's consider, right, and I understand that we may want, there are some people that we do care what they think about us, right? People who are close to us, people who are important to us, and I'm going to give you some remedies for mitigating, right, other people's opinions of us. But we can't control what other people think about us. So who are the people that you care about, right? So I invite you to do this exercise and consider, the people in your circle, the people that you worry about, right? And is that what's going on? Do you spend time worrying about what other people think about you or what people might be saying about you? So I have a story to tell about this. Is really going to bring this to light. But if you do, right, who are these people, right? Who are they? What people? How do they really matter? And if yes to any of those, why do they matter, right? So do that exercise and consider, who are they? What people are they? Who are they in relation to you? And do they really matter? So one of my former clients has an interesting story. So his daughter was getting married for a second time, right? So she was a relatively young woman. She was in her 30s, and she was in her late 30s actually, and she was getting married for a second time, and she was going to have a big wedding again, right? And she had the traditional wedding the first time that she had gotten married. And there was a little bit of drama over how she and her fiance came to be connected, came together. And I'm not going to share those details with you, but there was drama around it, and it had caused some drama in the family and in their social circle. Okay, so my client was very, I don't want to say upset, but he was very worried about his daughter getting married again, right? And having the big wedding again. And what were people going to think about her doing this, right? So we were going to invite some people who had already been to the first wedding. I'm sure this is a common scenario. We were going to re-invite people who had already been to the first wedding, which was, some time ago. She's in her mid-30s now and had gotten married pretty young in her 20s. So it wasn't like it was last week or last year. And not that it matters, right? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So my client spent a lot of time worrying about this and being uncomfortable about this scenario, and it caused a strain in his relationship with his daughter, right? So are you spending time in worry about other people's opinions, right? Either worried about what people are going to say or exerting all this energy in order to make sure that people like you, right? So back to my client, God love him, right? He spent a lot of time in anxiety and angst over what are people going to think? What are people going to say? I don't approve of this new direction in my son's life. I don't really think he should be going down this road. And really, it's not really because I don't want him to be happy. It's because I don't want to make all the fuss again, because I don't want people to see, right? I don't want people to see and have anything to say about what's going on. And again, this was causing him a lot of angst. Was causing his daughter a lot of angst. Was causing his future daughter-in-law, right? They are a gay couple, right? So it was causing his future daughter-in-law a lot of angst. And there was a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety. What should have been a very joyous occasion, and in the end, it was a beautiful occasion. But all the way up to and through the wedding day, it caused a lot of strife in my client's life, right? He and I spent a lot of time talking about it and working through it, and my helping him, change his beliefs and his perceptions about what was going on. But for that time, what was it costing him, right? It was costing him his joy. It was costing him his peace. It was costing him his time, right? Because not only was he talking about it with me, he was talking about it with anyone who would listen, right? People who were close to him and would ask, "Oh, the wedding's coming up, blah, blah, blah." And then he would, you could see a physical shift in his physiology and in his emotions about how this scenario was causing him angst. And like most other things that we have no control over, right? That we have no control over, it was causing him anxiety, right? Because anxiety is really worried about a potential future event that we have no control over, and that, dare I say, in most cases, never happens, right? But we spend time, energy, and emotion worried about it, okay? So, and also in the time, if you're not actually engaging in conversation about it, right? You've got stories going on in your head, right? So I've been there where I'm worried about someone else's perception, and then I make up these stories about what they're going to think and what they're thinking about me, what they're thinking about the situation, or what somebody could think. So granted, I don't spend a lot of time in that scenario anymore, but I do know what it's like. And these days I'm pretty quick to recover. And that's why I'm talking about this today, is because I want to bring it into your awareness so you can learn how to be quick to recover from the situation and not spend time there, right? Because this is not a pleasant place to be, right? That's right. And if you've been there, I know you've been there, I think most of us have been there, you don't want to be there. And you want to learn how to get out of there, how to get out of that state as quickly as possible. And I have some steps for you. Of course, I've got some steps for you. But I also want to talk about, right, which is very closely connected with worrying about what other people think about you, is also, before I move away from worrying about what other people want to think about you, right? So this is really important, because a lot of the people that I work with and talk to and listen are business owners, entrepreneurs, or leaders. And right, worrying about what people will think will keep you from following your dreams, won't it, right? Maybe making a bold move or taking a risk because you're worried about what other people will think. And when you're not following your dreams, right? When you're not following the call on your heart, okay? Let's say whatever it is, right? Yeah. When you're not following the call on your heart, it causes strife and negative emotions in our body, our mind, and our spirit, right? So for my client, right, he was not following his heart, and that, hey, Rico, good to see you, girl. Glad you made it, right? He was not following the call on his heart, which is to love and support his son in a joyous occasion of his life, right? And he was not following the call on his heart, which was to have the best relationship possible with, with his daughter and future daughter-in-law, right? Because this limiting belief, right, of worrying about what other people are talking about was getting in the way, right? So when you're not following the call on your heart, it causes angst and anxiety and negative emotions, which, can lead, which is unpleasant in and of itself and can lead to illness, as we know. So as I started to say, closely related to what other people think is how people treat you, right? Is not taking other people's behavior and commentary personally, right? And that's because, and here's how we tie it all together, my friends, right? Oh, and I do have my corporate friends on the line as usual, right? Here's how we tie it all together is that, again, it's not about you, right? Is that it's not about you, right? So what other people think, this might be hard for some of you to wrap your mind around, but it's not what other people think, and how other people treat you is not about you, right? It's not about you, it's about them. It's they're projecting their stuff on you, right? So just like my client and being worried about his daughter's second marriage, right? Second wedding. You know what? I was at the wedding. I was at all of the celebrations, and everyone there was really, truly thrilled for the couple. And there was so much love and joy in the room for their bridal showers and for the wedding. When that came, it was really a joyous occasion. Everyone had a great time and was really, truly happy for the couple and wanted to be there to celebrate them and celebrate their love, right? So all that angst, all that stuff was my client's stuff, wasn't it? That's right? Nobody cared, right? Everyone was thrilled about it, but my client was all caught up in his stuff, in his own stuff, right? And that's what's true. So even if someone treats you badly, right, that's their stuff. So let's continue with that scenario, and let's say that someone did say something about it, like, oh, she shouldn't be doing that again. I'm thinking he, my client, but she shouldn't be having another wedding. She already had a wedding, right? That's not about my client's daughter and her new wife or future wife at the time, right? Hey, baby, good to see you. So glad you made it. It's not about that, right? That's their stuff, right? That's their stuff that they're projecting on you, because how people treat you is their karma, and how we react is ours, as one of my favorite quotes from the late Dr. Wayne Dyer. So I also want to tell you a story about not taking it personally, okay, about when people treat you badly, about how to not take that personally, because again, it's not about you, right? It's about them and their stuff, right? So one of my teachers' wife was at the grocery, tells this story, and they're ministers, and she was, the teacher's wife was at the grocery store, and she was in line at the checkout counter and was, in line waiting for her groceries to be checked out. And the lady, Wayne Dyer is amazing. Rico saying she loves Wayne Dyer. Yeah, he's one of my favorite teachers. So she was in line, and the cashier, the checkout lady, the checkout girl was, being aggressive and unpleasant, was mumbling under her breath, had actually had a little bit of a negative exchange with the customer in front of my teacher. Yeah, I don't know, maybe she didn't have the correct change or a check or something, and the girl gave the customer a hard time. The people behind my teacher, hey Lisa, good to see you. Glad you made it. The people behind my teacher were like, oh, what's up with this chick, right? What's her problem? How, she shouldn't be treating customers this way. And so finally my teacher got up to pay, and the cashier continued to be gruff and unpleasant and was providing less than the best customer service, to say the least. And my teacher said to her, hey, how's your day going today? What's, how are you? How are things going for you? And the cashier just broke down in tears. Oh, and I get emotional just thinking about it. So she broke down in tears because her baby girl was in the hospital, right? She was a toddler, and she was about a year and a half, and she was her baby girl was in the hospital with a serious condition. And so not only was her baby girl ill, seriously ill, she was a cashier at a grocery store, and their health insurance wasn't going to cover all the expense, and she was really under a lot of pressure and a lot of strain, and hence the bad behavior. So my teacher offered to pray with her, and she prayed with the young woman in that moment. People behind, who were in line behind my teacher also prayed for and with the young woman, and continued to pray for the young woman. So the moral of the story is that, because the young woman was having a hard time, does it make it okay for her to treat people badly? No, right? No, of course not. Bad behavior is not cool, right? But who are we to judge, right? We've all been there. We've all had something going on inside ourselves that we've taken it out on someone else, haven't we? I'm sure that's true. Okay? So in showing kindness and compassion and for the other woman, for the young woman, we were able to turn an unpleasant situation into a really beautiful situation, right? So the young woman got to release some of her negative emotions, and then she had the whole line praying for her and her baby girl, and I hope that whole situation turned out well. But the moral of the story is, right, how people treat you, right? That wasn't about my teacher, right? That wasn't about because the customer didn't have the correct change, or was writing a personal check when there was a long line in the grocery store. It wasn't about any of that. And it was about her, right? So whatever people do to you, whenever someone is less than pleasant or nice or kind to you, it's not about you, right? It's not about you at all. It's about them. And perhaps if you turn on your compassion switch, then everyone feels better, right? Now you feel better because you no longer feel badly, and you can send some love and compassion towards the other person and just elevate the whole situation, right? So let's bring it all together, right? What other people think about you is none of your business. You can't control that. And it doesn't matter anyway, because what they think about you is really a projection of their own stuff. Again, it's not about you. It's about them, because our reality is our perception, right? And it's really about them. And we're so caught up in ourselves that we project our stuff out on to other people, right? So what other people think about you is none of your business, and it's not about you, which is the same moral of the story for don't take things personally, because it's not about you. It's about them. And I know that might be a difficult concept to wrap your beautiful little brain around, but that's the truth, my lovelies. So how do you mitigate this, right? Because we're all human, we all spend time there, right? So the first step is meditation, right? Meditation is going specifically a silent mantra-based meditation. And that's going to expand your awareness. So when you find yourself in a situation where you are spending time in worry about what other people are going to think, or when someone was less than kind to you and now you're taking personal offense, right? It'll expand your awareness and you'll recognize the opportunity to move into love and compassion towards that person and towards yourself, okay? Always do your best. Right, which is another one of the 4 agreements, which we may check about on another day. But always do your best. When you know that you are doing your best, then it doesn't really matter what other people think, right? Because you know that you came forward, you gave 100%, and you did your best. And that's all anybody can ever ask of anyone, right? Is that you do your best, okay? And show compassion. Right? So show compassion towards yourself and towards others, right? That'll shift any negative situation, right? When we go from A Course in Miracles series, A Course in Miracles says that there's only 2 emotions, love and fear, right? And when we're in any type of negative emotions, we're in fear. And when we shift to compassion, we shift to love, it moves us out of fear and into love and brightens the whole situation, because we can't be in both places. We can't be in both emotions at the same time. So move from fear into love and pray, right? So pray. So meditation and prayer, opposite sides of the same coin, right? Because prayer is when we talk to our higher power, and meditation is when we listen. And it's in that connection that we can connect to who we truly are, right? Which I thought I was going to talk about more today, but I didn't. So we'll have to talk about that another time. So listen, if you spend time worried about what people think, your relationships are suffering because you're worried about what other people think, you're making up stories about what other people think, you're taking things personally that are not about you, you've probably got some baggage stored up, right? Negative emotions and limiting beliefs around that, and you'd like my help, I invite you to book a free breakthrough call with me. That is if you are ready to break free of that stuff, right? So if you're ready to break free of those negative patterns, then I invite you to book a free breakthrough call with me, okay? It's free. It will be on the phone for about an hour, and we'll get clear on what's going on with you. We'll paint a crystal clear picture for a very bright future for you, and if I can help you get there, I'll show you how. And you book that call by going to MadelineCorrea.com/talk, and I'll also put the link in the comments below. Let me see if I can see what Lisa said. Love this, saying what other people think of you is none of your business, right? Made her think of its positive, happy, compassionate. Happy. Yes, that's right. None of your business. None of your business what other people think about you. But we spend time there, right? Like we spend time there and get all caught up in there, and it keeps us from, it steals from us our time, our joy, our peace. It keeps us stuck from moving in the direction of what we know, of what we really want to do, of what is on our heart, what we're being called to do, because we're worried about this nonsense. And I can help you break that cycle, okay? So book that breakthrough call with me, MadelineCorrea.com/talk if you're ready to break that cycle, and we'll work that out. Okay, so I hope this serves you. Thank you for joining me. Those of you who joined me live or are catching the replay, I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, I will see you in the gap. Namaste. Be blessed. Mwah.